Hi guys, Ben from BensGameTime here. You know, Mario and platforming kind of go together like chocolate and peanut butter. Unless, of course, you're allergic to peanut butter, in which case it's more like chocolate and caramel. You know, two great things that come together to make something even better. That's why I'm launching a new line of Mario-themed candies, 2D Mario peanut butter cups and 3D Mario caramel bars. Now you might look at those and say, Ben, those were just Reese's Cups and a not at all caramel Hershey bar. And you're right, they are proof of concept for now, but once I get approval from Nintendo, I'll make the real thing and be practically swimming in money. So, while we wait, why don't we take a look at one of my favorite Mario platforming adventures, Super Mario World.
Super Mario World was released in 1990 and was the fourth in the mainline Super Mario platforming games, fifth if you count Super Mario Land, and sixth if you count Super Mario Bros. 2 and The Lost Levels as separate games. Although The Lost Levels didn't appear in the US until Super Mario All Stars in 93, so it'd still technically be fifth. No matter how you slice it, this is essentially Super Mario Bros. 4, being both the fourth entry in the Super Mario series as well as the first one on the Super Nintendo meant it had to blow the past games out of the water. And, spoiler alert, it did just that.
In fact, I would say that Super Mario World is the best of the 2D Mario games, which says a lot about its quality, but also says a lot about the games that came afterwards.
Super Mario World's story is what you would expect it to be. Peach got kidnapped again, and now it's up to Mario, and also Luigi, to save her from Bowser. The catch this time is that the game takes place in Dinosaur Land, which is different from the mainland Mushroom Kingdom, and was taken over by Bowser and his Koopalings that make their return from Super Mario Bros. 3. Now Mario, and also Luigi, must travel all across Dinosaur Land to stop Bowser, save Peach, and free the land from Bowser's control.
Yeah, story's never been one of the strongest parts of the Mario series, and this game is no exception, but gameplay-wise, it is one of the best.
Super Mario World takes what the previous games did and expands on it. The typical gameplay structure is back: jump on enemies, grab power-ups like the mushroom and fire flower to get an extra hit and other abilities, grab 100 coins for an extra life, and get from point A to point B in order to clear each level. However, Super Mario World changes things up in a number of different ways. First, Mario has a new move, the spin jump. The spin jump can be used on enemies much like a regular jump, but with the added bonus of making the enemies disappear completely. Even Koopas will disappear with their shell, which is great when you want to cut down on the amount of shells on screen at once. The spin jump is also able to break through some blocks that can't be destroyed otherwise. And finally, it gives Mario the ability to be able to jump off enemies and other objects that would usually hurt him, like thwomps and buzzsaws. This move is so useful and is only the beginning of what this game brings to the table. I think you all know where this is going. That's right, Yoshi. This was the first appearance of the green dinosaur, and man, what an introduction. Yoshi can eat enemies and berries, and serves as a free hit for Mario, and if you do fall off him, you can easily hop back on. Yoshi can also spit fireballs if he eats a red Koopa shell, and can fly if he eats a blue shell. He can also fly into a bonus area if he grabs a pair of wings, which is only in a few levels. He can stomp on a few enemies that Mario can't, and all his jumps are considered spin jumps when enemies are concerned, not so much with blocks. The only downside to Yoshi is that he can't enter castle or ghost house levels, which is fine. Gotta balance the guy somehow.
Now those are two of the bigger changes that this game makes. However, there are also a whole bunch of small ones that contribute to this game's greatness.
In terms of power-ups, the game goes back to basics and only adds in two new ones. You see, with Mario 3, a ton of power-ups were introduced, but some of them kinda overlapped, and others could be ignored. Like, yeah, the leaf and the frog suit were cool, but the Tanuki suit was just the leaf but with the added ability to turn into a statue, and the Hammer Brothers suit was something I didn't use much, and that's not mentioning all the overworld power-ups like the Cloud, Music Box, and Hammer. Mario World keeps things simple, cutting back to the original power-ups and getting rid of all the Mario 3 ones. This simplification is much appreciated, as this makes sure that each power-up is unique and has a specific function. They even updated Fire Flowers to have killed enemies drop a coin when hit by a fireball, which is pretty cool. In terms of what was added, let me introduce you to what is likely to be the most broken power up in Mario history, the Cape Feather. Picking this up gives Mario a cape, which allows him to fly, much like the Mario 3 Leaf. However, unlike the Leaf, you don't just gain a ton of height and then have a slow descent. You can actually fly with this thing. Flying with this thing is not too difficult, just rock the D-pad back and forth to maintain your elevation. This is straight up broken, as you can fly right through a good amount of the levels in the game. Even if you choose not to fly through the game, this is still overpowered, as you can spin with the cape to attack enemies from the front, as well as hit blocks from the side. This is easily the best power up in the game, and they aren't hard to find. The other new power up is the P Balloon, which will turn Mario into a balloon for a limited time. You can freely float around in this form, making it easier to fly than the cape, but it is rarely seen throughout the game. While on the topic of power-ups, this game also allows you to store a power-up, which drops whenever you get hit, which is a nice addition, but it also takes away some of the challenge. Another new change are the end goals. End goals have changed regularly throughout the Mario series, but this one is pretty cool and is better than the plain old flagpole. The end goal in this game is this pole vault looking thing. This bar moves up and down, and you want to try to hit it. Just going through the goal ends the level, but hitting the bar rewards star points. With more star points rewarded, the higher the bar is. You can max out the bar at 50 star points, and hitting the bar here also rewards 3 extra lives, which is a cool detail that I just learned about while making this video. Collecting 100 star points lets you play a bonus game for more lives. It's a pseudo tic-tac-toe game where you need to match 3 like symbols in a line. You want to try to stop the blocks to match the middle symbol, and for each line you make, you get an extra life. Also new to this game are the color switch blocks. There are 4 color switch palaces, and each contain a corresponding color switch. When activated, all blocks of that color become active, which both contain power-ups and create platforms. Yellow blocks contain mushrooms, and green blocks contain cape feathers, but strangely, the red and blue blocks only act as platforms. Like, come on, the red blocks are just screaming fire flower. One last new addition to bring up are the dragon coins. Most levels will have 5 scattered around the level, and collecting all 5 rewards an extra life. It's a nice little bonus that adds some variety to the levels that have it.
As for how this game plays, well, it's pretty solid. Mario controls extremely well, especially while in a jump.
Jumps get just the right amount of height, and you can easily land where you want to. As for the world design, it's what you'd expect from a Mario game. Go through each level to reach a castle, beat the castle to get to the next world, end off with a fight against Bowser. The castle stages offer some different platforming challenges, like clinging to fences or following a chain of blocks. Each castle ends with a fight against one of the Koopalings, but man are these fights disappointing. Some of the fights are direct copies of each other. Iggy and Larry are on a tilting platform and need to be jumped on repeatedly to push them into lava. Morton and Roy climb walls and will try to drop on top of you, and Lemmy and Wendy will pop out of pipes with 2 decoys, requiring you to find the real one quickly. Only Ludwig has an original fight, where he shoots fireballs at you from a distance. While these fights have a little more variety than the Mario 3 fights, they are still hit the boss 3 times to win boss fights and end too quickly. After beating a castle, Mario will rescue a Yoshi egg from it, and then proceed to destroy the castle in a comedic fashion, which is a nice extra detail. There are also fortress stages, which are basically smaller scale castle stages. These end with a boss fight against a group of 4 Resnors. You can't jump on Resnors. Instead, you need to hit their platforms from below to knock them off. These are overall tougher fights than the Koopalings, as the floor will start to fall out from under you as the fight goes on, making it harder to dodge the Resnor's fireballs.
Now, what's really interesting about this game is if you just play through it, you'll only see a fraction of what this game has to offer.
Mario World rewards exploration. The game has 75 levels, but if you just play through the game straight to Bowser, you'll only see around 2/3 of the game. This game features a ton of secret levels, which can be accessed through secondary level exits. These exits are typically reached by finding a key and its corresponding keyhole. Finding the secret exit opens up a path to a different level than the normal exit. While there are 75 levels in the game, there are 96 exits in total that you have to find. Levels with 2 exits are displayed with a red dot on the overworld map, while levels with just one have a yellow dot. Ghost houses also typically have 2 exits, while castles and fortresses only have one. This is why in a normal playthrough, World 4 seems so short, because half of the levels are hidden behind secret exits. World 5, the Forest of Illusion, takes full advantage of this part of the game. If you just use all of the normal exits, you'll never find your way out. Instead, you have to actively search for the secret exits to continue on. World 6 does this slightly as well, leaving you stuck in an endless loop unless you find 6-3's secret exit.
The levels in this game have a ton of variety, and some even have some unique concepts behind them.
Level 6-2, for example, changes based on your coin count and how much time is left on the timer. Like, this is such a unique concept. I wish more levels could be like this. There's also Sunken Ghost Ship to kick off the final world, which is actually one of the airships from Mario 3, which is a cool bit of continuity that otherwise doesn't exist in the Mario series. The level design and secret exits culminate in the secret world of Star World. Star World can be accessed as early as World 2 and consists of 5 of the most unique levels in the game. Each level has both a normal and secret exit, however, the normal exit is just for show. Unlike other levels, the normal exit doesn't lead to the next level, the secret exits are the only way forward. The Star World features 3 new Yoshi variants. Each act the same as a normal Yoshi, but with a bonus ability. Red Yoshis can turn any shell into fireballs, blue Yoshis can fly using any shell, and yellow Yoshis can use any shell to hard stomp into the ground. The best part of Star World is that it acts like a fast travel between the other worlds. So instead of walking all the way around the world, you can just teleport, which is much appreciated. Completing Star World unlocks Special World, which is a collection of 8 of the hardest levels in the game. Special World has each of its levels named after 80s slang, like gnarly, tubular, and mondo. Special World also features the Super Famicom logo at the top, which is an awesome detail, but it also kinda highlights an issue with the Super Nintendo's US release, specifically the controller. The Super Famicom controller had each of the buttons colored differently, which matches the logo design. But here in the States, the controller only has 2 shades of grayish purple. Like, come on, this design is weak.
This isn't just a cosmetic issue, as practically speaking, having your buttons colored differently will help the player easily tell what button they are pressing at any moment. Looking down at the controller of the Super Famicom version, you can quickly tell what button you're pressing. B is yellow, Y is green, but here you have to look for the letter to know the button layout. This isn't a huge issue, as it isn't hard to know what the 4 buttons are, but it's just a strange design change.
Anyway, Special World is a nice set of bonus challenges that really test your skills. But the best part of it is the reward you get for completing it. Completing Special World takes you back to Yoshi's Island. However, now the game has a fall theming to it. Color palettes change, piranha plants become jack-o'-lanterns, and Koopa shells are changed to Mario heads. This is a sweet extra detail, and is a prime example of how all the little details of Mario World make it such a great game.
Even Bowser's castle is given special attention and detail, and it is quite possibly the best endgame castle we've ever gotten.
Bowser's Castle is broken into 2 groups of 4 rooms, each with a different challenge inside. These challenges test different skills, from basic platforming to swimming to running. The nice part is that you can choose which of the challenges you want, making the last level have some level of customizability to make it your own. After completing the second challenge, you get put into a dark hallway with a single spotlight to guide your way, which isn't hard to get through. The final fight against Bowser actually has some complexity to it, and is far more enjoyable than the fights before and some since. The fight is broken up into 3 phases. The first phase just has Bowser ride back and forth in his clown car, and occasionally he'll drop two Mecha Koopas. You can't attack Bowser directly at all in this fight. Instead, you need to stun the Mecha Koopas and toss them up to hit Bowser. Do this twice, and Bowser will leave for a second to drop fireballs onto you. When he comes back, Peach will actually give you a free mushroom to use if you get hit, which is a fair addition to the challenge. Phase 2 is much like Phase 1, but Bowser follows you more closely and has a new attack to drop a bowling ball onto you. Hit him with another two Mecha Koopas to do another fireball and mushroom sequence. The final phase has Bowser try to pogo on you with his clown car. Just hit him two more times and you win the fight. This was the most complex final boss in a Mario game at this point, and it still remains as one of the best in the series in my opinion.
Super Mario World is just a great game all around. It is so good in fact that it was re-released with Super Mario All-Stars and was ported to the Game Boy Advance, with Dragon Coins getting added to the levels that didn't have them before, as well as Luigi gaining his higher jump. It still holds up to this day, and did some things better than even some of the newer Mario games. The game has a nice difficulty progression, although it is one of the easier Mario games, especially compared to the first three Mario Brothers. The Cape Feather is a bit overpowered, and I didn't even mention the secret area in World 2 where you can get free Yoshis, Fire Flowers, and Cape Feathers. However, it's all the small details, the power-up simplification, the 1-up minigame, the cosmetic changes after completing Special World, and the overworld that changes whenever you complete a level that really make this game fantastic. Hell, if you wanted to fight Bowser again but didn't want to go through the entire castle stage, you could just go through a back door and skip right to the hallway segment, which is pretty awesome. I give Super Mario World 93 exits out of 96.
You've got mail.
Oh, it seems like Nintendo got back to me. Well, let's see what their offer is. And I got a cease and desist.